So, I think it's even worth to try to, like...
Yes, summarize. Yes, I want to hear you say it.
You want to hear me say it? I was going to have someone else say it.
Oh, whoever.
I don't know. Treg wrote up an insanely well-written summary / just synopsis of it, but...
Shit, I haven't read that. Fuck.
It was a long one. It surprisingly, for being
yeah.
mostly combat, it was a really long one.
I gotta read it for sure.
I mean, a lot of stuff happened. It was actually,
True.
like, a pretty... I don't know, I feel like it was actually a fairly, like, unique combat with just a lot of shit happening more so than just straight up attacks.
Yeah.
Threw a ton of shit into the fan and went to see where it all landed. But so yeah, TLDR, as you guys did it, you finally hit a pretty major milestone in Mir of what I had planned story-wise from the beginning. Except still more to come, still more things to do, but you took, you took the invitation to the ball, you kind of was at the crux of what was going to happen, and you chose the side of giving the crown to Mother Levia in the fight against Faust, took on his hordes of undead as he felt his soul being basically sacrificed to the Devil Queen, and through many of a you'll be fine moment, your party came out ahead. But now we get to witness the aftermath of, being besieged through the night, having your allies come, comment at the behest of those that asked, and one probably not at the behest, but then again, when they more asked for anything and yet given everything. So we ended the last session with you guys landing that final blow, watching the heroes of old, of the original tale, kind of lend you the aid in fixing what they consider their mistake in the end, and leaving behind the final tale to tell of their adventures. You stand amidst this crumbling realm that once belonged to Faust as it starts dissolving away. Bits and pieces of the structures around you begin to crumble and fall and disappear into ash and smoke. And almost as quickly as you were pulled into the realm, it all crumbles and fades to black, and you are once again in the sanctum of Levia at the feet of the mother herself.
The mother.
The mother. The unnamed, just Mother Levia.
I do believe that I tried to scoop up the book left
Yes,
behind.
you do have the book.
Okay.
Because that was part of the end of the session. You picked up the book, you flipped through its pages, and I noted how it basically told the full tales of Morden, Valoran, Shara, and all that. However, the prior heroes are nowhere to be seen anymore, including Shara. I don't remember what the Spectre thing was. The hell was this? What even was this thing?
I don't recall.
Spectre?
Yeah.
Down next to Zidane.
Yeah, I don't remember what that was.
That's the homunculus.
Oh!
That was Thamor summoning his
Creepy
homunculus to
homunculus.
go get a potion from somebody.
Right.
from Green Man.
From Green Man. He was going to loot Green Man, and he's invisible, so...
I didn't actually add that to the summary, but yes, that did happen.
Yeah, I completely forgot that was a, thing.
So where's my homunculus now? He's invisible.
But as you stand stand before Mother Levia, you see her...
Mother Levia for a potion.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Give me bottle.
Yeah. She stands before you, kind of still holding that regal air about her, but you definitely all notice a visible, drain on her. She seems more tired and kind of difficult holding herself up. And the energy that was crackling and filling this room has been subdued. And in her hand, she holds a rusted old iron crown. But even with the labored breath, she gives a wide, beaming smile. You've done it.
What exactly is it that we've done?
Call it whatever you like. Saving the world, saving Galeran, becoming the heroes you were meant to be, yada yada yada. I will let you spin whatever you wish. But the threat has ended. And finally, she kind of toys the crown in her fingers. Levia finally has earned the rightful place it is always meant to be.
Rightful seems a stretch, but I ain't one to play politics.
I suppose you're not one to play. But it's alright. You won't need to. And rest assured, I have the people's best interest in mind.
Like your
What about
sons.
those who died? Were those your best interest? Innocent people.
I merely
for
did what I
what?
could to prevent the loss of everyone.
Really? Much good to be hiding down here, right?
Would you rather have me done nothing, expended my energies to fight this slavering, mindless undead never-ending, all while waiting for Faust to show up at my door? I took the task that only I could do, and I did it. Unless you're telling me you know the rituals to sacrifice a Draco Lich.
I do not. But I don't see this as a victory.
What?
I mean, granted, we have defeated Faust, sure. But don't blame me if I know that you have other intentions.
Everyone
That's what I don't
has
see.
ulterior motives. This is not unexpected. If you do not understand this, grow up.
Friend there seems to have a better mind about their head. Yes, you can think whatever you wish of me, my ulterior motives. But again, I do have the best interests of Galeran in mind. I don't plan to turn it all into an undead horde of mindless zombies, as a certain dragon would have done. I only wished to reclaim what rightfully belonged to Levi after so many years of service. I think it's time we earned our place at the head of Galeran.
I think what my friend here takes issue with is the fact that if we hadn't been able to do this for you, you were willing to sacrifice the entire populace of Galeran, and then what? You've been ruling over nothing. That was worth it to you?
Yes, it would have been a slow beginning, that's for sure. But again, think on the large scale. One town, one city, one kingdom for the world. Faust wouldn't have stopped here. And you know it.
Certainly a
So-
whole lot of grim calculus you're doing.
So you stand upon a broken city with little to no resistance. What next?
The part where we rebuild the broken city, bury the bones and the ashes and the flames of war as it would be, and bring back some semblance of order. The people have all witnessed your heroic deeds, as well as what Levia has done. We should see no resistance pushing for a future now. Unless you mean to try and stand against me. But what will that do, I wonder? The two reigning heroes, the house that was there to save them all, fighting the heroes that risked everything as well. You don't think that'll just cause more discord? Do you mean to take the throne for yourself? Or do you wish to leave a vacuum of power for some other entities to take? Say what you really will about me, but I'm a realist.
So, what does this future that we've secured for you look like, realistically?
And how many hidden sacrifice pits will it be hiding beneath the veil?
That I do not know yet. But as for the plans, a more prosperous Galeran. I plan to do away with the slums, and I plan to do away with the nobles. Only Levia will hold the reins.
Can't imagine that'll earn you very many friends among the nobles.
I think
choice
that
do
most
they
of them
have?
are gone, Barani. Leopold, at least, and I think they were the only real competitors. Everyone else is foreign.
What choice do they have? The lot that are smart would have already thrown in and realized the potential for a future. And the lot that aren't, well, they were either the first to go, or will follow shortly when they try to oppose the heroes that saved their lives in town.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we your mercenaries now? Your assassin squad to deal with dissenters?
No. Not at all.
And if the other kingdoms dissent, they don't roll over and allow this?
The kingdoms. They have no part to play in Galeran and could probably care less. They have their own issues to worry about, besides trying to march an army to claim a fallen kingdom.
I don't think the White Order will take kindly to a tyrant fueled by the blood of sacrifices to demons.
You'd be
Just a
surprised what the White Order is observant and not observant about when it comes to maintaining their own order. Besides, they've come what they wanted to do here. I'm sure they have more pressing concerns back home. And I never said I would be a tyrant. Just merely the one in power.
With no one to oppose her.
Just
Pretty tyrannical to me. But like I said, I'm not one to play politics. Just know, we lot here, we've done your dirty work. You know what we can do. Don't be surprised if someday you find us in your little magical realm, putting you down for the crimes you start committing against the world.
Then you might want to start a list. You deluded captain. There are far worse than me out there. Do you plan to bring justice to every single one of them?
Perhaps, perhaps not.
Your faith in even the White Order blinds you to their own crimes.
Faith is a strange word to use, isn't it? Ironic standing here.
She gives you a bit of a kind of a coy grin. I suppose it is.
If you might humor me for a favor after all this has been said and done, do you have a means of copying a book quickly?
I'm sure there are scribes who could do it for you.
You don't have some magical means of he just wiggles his fingers.
Not really in my repertoire. And she just wiggles her fingers back at you.
What is this D&D you speak of?
I don't know.
It's these spells. I don't. Is
Might
there a
you
list?
perchance
Is there a
have a
list?
slot?
I believe that
She
would be a
looks-
wish.
she looks back
Hang
over
on a
at
minute.
you.
Let me get it ready.
Yes, I am quaking in my boots as she wiggles her fingers. Yeah.
I just in a vein of transparency, after Faust was eliminated, there seemed to have been a shift in the world. Certain things being put right, other things being undone. A record, so to speak, was made. I don't suppose you've felt anything with your far-reaching influence, change, anything of note?
I have not yet looked. I will in due time, but the ritual did consume a fair amount of my energy.
Can I do an insight check?
Certainly try.
I'm really good at those. Fuck.
Not what I expected to hear.
Did you roll physical dice?
I mean, I could, but
Oh,
it's
am I just
already
not
been-
seeing it in the chat?
Yeah, it didn't show up in
I
the
don't
chat.
Oh!
know either.
I hit talk to myself because it was a 10.
Yeah, she seems like she's telling the truth. You can't really see past if she is putting on a guise of any kind. Now, as she kind of brushes herself off a little bit, will that be all? Your presence here is tolerated
See-
by my patron, but your task here is done, so I would kindly ask, if you have no further business with me, that we escort you from the sanctum.
Can I have a side discussion that might have happened during some of that discourse with Absinthos?
Sure.
Very quietly, if I can, Shred.
Sure.
Seabreeze leans over and whispers, "If you ever have any desire to lead your family, now is the time." And she looks for a response.
Captain Oz looks back to Seabreeze.
It generally gives a lack of response on it. Just
No nodding, no shaking, no nothing.
just exasperation.
Think it over hard. I'll leave it up to you.
Well, as long as we are able to leave in peace, even if we do meet, well, under different circumstances once again, I think, I wonder what my sisters are doing right about now. Wonder how they've been doing with all of this. Oh, Dracoliches and other drumblings. What sort of opportunities they've been exploiting.
Are you telling this to Mother Olivia?
Yeah, he's just musing aloud. He's doing his best to not side-eye Absinthoss.
Alright. Just kind of stares at you, a bit exasperated. Is there any more side conversation for Seabreeze and Absinthoss, or was that the...
Nope, not unless Absinthoss makes a high sign.
Looking at Seabreeze and just not an easy decision to make at the moment.
Okay.
Wait, so is there a portal going in and out of this place? Or that we would have to go...
She would have to send you out. She brought you in here.
Well, okay, so given Absinthoss's lack of commitment, Seabreeze will step forward and close half the distance. What are your plans for the other organizations in the city? You will need allies to lead, right?
Yes. I have already reached out to them. And they are most favorable
Very well.
to siding with myself. Much more myself than the alternative, am I right?
I can only assume. I take my leave.
You will be in touch, I'm sure, through your associates.
Bows.
Right. Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I have had my fill of creepy sex dungeons and undead dragons, so... Let's get the fuck out of here.
Alright, that's a different edition of Dungeons and Dragons,
uh,
but hey.
Where's the creepy sex dungeon? Asking I just want to know.
And Rose went to a real different realm during that fight. Alright. With that, she gives one kind of final grin before she waves her hand, enacting basically the equivalent of banish, and pushing you back
Ow.
out of this realm.
She leaves behind servants because she can't see him.
Servant actually dissipates because it's technically under banish.
Oh man.
Musket.
Musket Pope.
But yeah, no, but she did see the servant.
Oh.
Remember?
Hmm.
I think you guys noticed, or she mentioned that at one point. Not like to the servant specifically, but that she basically has detective up.
Mm.
See
Okay,
invisibility.
where are we?
Something.
No, just perma detect magic. She's got that warlock, the warlock pack.
Yeah.
Oh, we're up there.
Yes, you guys are up here. So as you guys reappear on the dais out in the back where you'd been pulled in, you just see like corpses strewn about as mostly members of the White Order's army seem to be moving about, gathering the corpses and throwing them onto giant pyres.
In the middle of the Livia mansion.
I mean, it's an open courtyard, so yeah. Mostly it's out front, but there are some kind of around you as they're just piling up the remains of the undead army, and you see this. They didn't want to put a bunch more tokens on here, but just a bunch of soldiers going about doing so. And you hear a lot of chatter coming from within the halls, as there seems to be just a bit of a cacophony of joyous responses and talking. But yeah,
Andros
no one really
will-
seems to notice your presence yet, but
Yeah, Andros will, as they reappear, glance around at everyone, and then he's going to walk straight through toward the crowd to find his crew, and specifically to see if he can see his brother.
yep. Yeah.
I
They're kind of
suppose
in a
we
gaggle
can-
together. Oh, sorry, what was that?
I would have wanted to say, Zidane would try and say, well, if everyone wants to split and check out different parts of the city, just meet back at the Father Riel's old, I guess, my estate. Or, wait, no, just go to the guild house. That's much easier.
Andros gives kind of like a side salute as he's already walking away.
Yeah, that was the... Yeah.
By the way, leading up to this, were we sleeping in the guild house or are we sleeping in the sanctuary? Just because I can't remember.
I think it was wherever you guys. I think it
Both?
was either. The sanctuary was up. It was just dependent on where people were.
Yeah,
What
it was
about-
posing as a broom closet
What's
underneath the stairs.
what's sleep?
Fair enough. Non sequitur,
Seabreeze
sorry.
Seabreeze might get a good sleep for the first time at Ascension.
I'm waiting for a lull. I'm gonna ask real soon here.
Oh yeah, but as you guys also are outside, it is now morning. The fog has been like lazily drifting and dissipating about you as the sun kind of finally rises, and for the first time in a bit of a while, kind of gives you guys a nice like sunny day ahead. It's been gray and dull and misty ever since you got out of Dunmoric, basically. But yeah, so you see Hadrian's talking with Richard, the dwarves. He seems to be just kind of chatting and laughing along with them, and you hear, just as you come by, the dwarves telling some innocuous tales about you. That's the word.
Maybe. Lurid seems like a better word.
Possibly
I don't know.
both.
I don't know. Depends.
More like it's tales they are proud of, but you don't know if that's the tales that you think you want to tell your brother.
Shh. That's fine. They're
Like
my
about-
people. I'm okay with it.
Like time aboard the ship, keel hauling a certain traitorous character. You know, your time in
Andros is-
Dunmoric and all that.
Yeah, Andros walks in. He's still glammed up. He's still like his eyes are like a glowing silver. His horns are still that like pearlescent, translucent crystal. His skin is still that sparkling, geode flecked black onyx skin. He just
Adrian.
strides into the room.
Yeah, as you brush by, one of the Night Fae, the one that had remained, kind of brushes up against you. Oh, nice look, lad. I like it. Got the horns and everything, real pointing.
Gives him a wink and smiles and walks past.
He it floats in front of you again. Mind if I have your name?
Not likely, lad.
Ah,
I'll
well.
try though. Just pats
Can't
him on
blame
the
a-
cheek.
Can't blame a Fae for trying.
Certainly can,
Zips up
but
over your head.
shakes his head. And then just stands staring at his His
He
his
gives you a
crew talking
salute.
with Hadrian.
Yeah, he gives you a salute, then sees your form, and you see his eyes kind of grow big. Dare I even ask?
Have a little faith, brother.
I always
It's still
have. You're the
me.
one who needs more faith.
There might be some who disagree with that. Come here.
Can you
And
really
he's just-
disagree when it brought us here?
And he holds out an arm to, shake his hand and pulls him in for a hug.
He embraces, and the dwarves behind him. Oh, it's not. Everyone in line. Hogs to the captain.
After tonight, fine. Bring it in, boys. And it's
And a line starts behind Hadrian of a gaggle of crewmen dwarves ready for their hug with the captain.
Oh,
That's
that's weirdly
fucking-
sweet.
That's fucking wholesome as shit.
And Hadrian just can't help but laugh. Oh, can't say I understand what's going on in your life, brother, but it seems as though you found an odd place for yourself after all.
Gregor, that's really painful. Yes. A little bit. At least have found purpose.
Gives you a kind of a knowing grin. I only wish it could have been with under Paylor, but not everything is meant to be that way. And don't worry, I'll keep it brief and exclude most of these parts with Father.
I appreciate it. I may want to, well, after all this is cleaned up, if you're still in town, I may have some anonymous tips I may need to pass along, but not here.
He gives kind of raises an eyebrow. Alright, you are ever full of surprises, brother.
I was born that way, apparently. Then he turns and
Next
points.
dwarf immediately lunges into you.
Pardon!
You got us all worried! Look as if you're drunk as fuck while you're fighting the undead. You bloody dwarf of a captain! And he just hugs you tighter.
I told you all not to get so fucking drunk. But
It's our religion!
I can't even argue that. And then he goes about and he meets up with the rest of the dwarves. He'll stop by and greet Gorvin and Richard. Goes about being socialite.
Evian, after the Fae, teases Andros, it zips over to you and gives you a humble bow while flying in midair. Well there, love. I hope that, puts us Night Fae a little more favorably in the eyes of your court.
She will look at him for a moment before a smile comes across her lips. You have done well. Thank you.
That's what I'd like to hear, but as the mortals say, actions speak louder than words, so at the next council we hope you'll, she just hovers down, kind of gives you a nudge, wink, wink. Give us some leeway on our end of the table, yeah?
Still debating on that one. But we'll see.
No pressure, but glad to be of service to the new seat and all, and we came here as a special favor, and Lily was all up for it, so yeah, we'll see you at the next meeting. And with that, he gives you kind of a bit of a silly salute before you just hear a little fizzle and pop before it blinks back into the Feywilds.
And as it pops out of existence, her smile disappears, and she's just walking along, tending to those who are looking injured or needing assistance to talk to. So
Okay.
that's the rest of her time.
All right. Thamor. You feel a cold presence as just almost from behind you, in similar fashion to your shadow step, that Shadow Lord appears before you again, giving you a very slight bow. It has been done.
I assume you. I can speak now. Yeah. No more keys singing in the background. Be like, you wish.
You wish.
You'll be fine.
Why?
I assume you're from the shadow plane.
Yes. My masters thought it worthy to aid you in your cause. You seem to have finally found purpose.
The assistance was appreciated.
Good. I will let them know that you are approving of our actions here.
Any more nods?
He looks up, kind of even with like a serious, like, glare to you. The time is growing near, my liege. The lost are looking for a way back. They look to you. We look for the answers that we asked of you so long ago.
I'm hoping soon I will have those answers. He looks back towards where Absence would have been, or at least probably would have been behind everyone. But he's not there. He's fucking gone again.
Good. We will come in time to call again. Until then, my liege, step lightly into this world. And it kind of slinks back into the floor, merging with your shadow.
Fucking creepy.
Yeah, then I looked down my suit and I see my fancy suit I just spent a ton of gold on. It is absolutely ripped to shreds.
Bummer.
I mean,
Dragon did a number
yeah,
to it.
That's okay. We'll get you a lot more gold. A lot more gold.
Is Thamor really that disappointed? He's usually just the one to strip naked anyway, so...
That's pretty much
Had half
true,
it
but
done.
I could have
Well-
spent that money on halberds.
Yeah. He likes nice
Well,
things too. I mean,
Well,
Or
and now he
beans.
literally can only sleep naked, so
yeah.
Yep.
Completely naked.
He could have tithed that gold to Plink.
That's true.
and
That's
got
very
more
true.
beans.
Yeah. But as everyone else is kind of milling about, you get, like, all the common, like, the people in there just are congratulating you as you pass by. Tired, perhaps, but even still, they congratulate, pat you on the back, and give their thanks as you come by. Especially those that, witness your deeds and all that.
Marani would, in the midst of all this, try to find just like a quiet place where she can be by herself for a second, and just mentally she says, "How you doing, Frey?"
It is over. Just quiet again. Peaceful. No longer do I feel that tear, the yearning rage that once filled me.
In a way, you've achieved what I've hoped for my entire life. I'm happy for you.
What is that?
internal peace.
That is what this is. I am sure you can find it too. I will help, as you have helped me.
I haven't forgotten about my promise to you, though. I promised to get you home. I'm not eager to be rid of you, but I'm a woman of my word.
Marani, I feel as though I am home. I am no longer the same being as I was in the weave. Not a we, but an I. Something that has seen and experienced more than I could have ever have thought. I don't think I could ever go back.
I always thought it would be selfish of me to wish you to remain, but I can't deny that the thought does give me some joy.
Yes, it does me. A feeling that I have come to enjoy. I wish to see more of this world that we have saved.
Yeah. So do I. You know, I thought that I would feel different now that this is over. Faust is dead. I feel relieved, sure, but I don't feel happy. Why don't I feel happy?
I am still learning about what makes human mortals sick, but perhaps you have not found the same hole, as it were, and fixed the same hole like I have. For me, it was a seam in the fabric of reality. For you, perhaps you have your own seam to mend.
You know, for not having much familiarity with the material plane and those who live in it, I think that you have a bit more wisdom than you give yourself credit for.
I'll take that compliment, but
It's
I
meant
do
that way.
still have much to learn,
I think we both do.
and we will learn it together.
Together, then.
Just kinda get that silent, like, nod of a head acknowledgement from Frey.
And then she'll look around and she may catch Zidane's eye, but rather than approaching him, she just kind of turns to walk away, like, away from the crowds. And looks like she's heading, like, for the exit.
Okay, out the front?
Yeah.
Okay. As you pass by, Gorvin will also just kind of yell out to you, after all this is done, you still owe me another round. Still haven't forgotten that I need to beat you at that damn drinking contest.
Rain check, okay? I think I need a bit of a breather before I can start thinking about that just now.
He gives you a disappointed pout before just giving a bit of a grin and going back to talking to others in the in the central area as well.
Yeah. And she'll just she'll continue walking past, and then when she reaches the door, assuming that nobody else approaches her or stops her, she'll just pick a random direction and just start walking.
Is it possible for Shinari to have eventually made it to the manor.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
possible.
also runs into Morani? Question mark?
I would say that Shinara would be pretty much waiting for you after everything was had been done. So she's probably sitting at the front door, waiting for you.
Okay.
After
She
the fog
probably
and all that.
she'd probably give Shinaria a couple of scritches before she walks out the door.
Andros will have clocked Marani walking through the hall. He is, off talking with people and being amidst all the congratulations, but he'll have stopped and watched her go and eyebrow raised. Keeps an eye on her until she leaves the room, and then goes back to what he was doing.
So then have fishes the book out of his pocket, looks at it, and then his gaze is trailing after Morani. But is it possible for him to have said something to Seabreeze, or did Seabreeze decide to disappear immediately after we came out of the sanctum?
Yeah, she would have tried to avoid the situation that Salty described where people were being greeted as heroes and immediately donned a different face and proceeded to not get thanked or recognized at all. So she would have
Okay.
tried to stick with the group for a little bit as like an onlooker, but yeah, she's kind of slipped away, so I suppose you could have grabbed her if you knew which face she took.
I guess we could chalk it up to he was gonna try and say something, but then notice, oh wait,
She's gone.
there is
Yeah.
there's a lack of sea breeze. Well, oh well, maybe later.
Just turned into one of the Levian guards again and wandered off.
You would have noticed if you had been watching her that, yeah, she would have turned into a guard.
Sea breeze for you. For the first time since you can even remember, your mind doesn't feel hazy. You don't feel this pall about you. And yet you somehow still move. Feel an energy that you've never really felt before. Call it perhaps, a sense of self. And yet
Like
your
I'm no
form
longer
still
a
stays.
thrall.
Well, not even more than just not even a thrall. There's no more how to describe it? That lingering fear, that lingering compulsion, as it was, no longer seems to nag at your mind and gives you kind of that haze. Your mind feels clear, fully clear for the first time.
Said it was dawn, right? You said the sun was coming up?
I am 100% gonna try and watch the sun come up, sitting on the roof.
And it doesn't burn you. You don't feel weakened by it.
Ooh.
That is it. There is no dialogue, there is no scene. It's just sitting there looking at the sun.
And I will say, you have a bit of a choice. You feel a bit of a spark. Perhaps some remnant power, what Faust had taken from you, returned to you. You can either choose to embrace it and once again live the life of basically of an undead in control of your own actions.
Oh.
Or you can once again draw a real breath
Oh.
and live a mortal life.
Hmm.
I did not expect this. How dare you? Oh, this is so good. Okay. Oh. She chooses to embrace the spark.
Okay. As you feel you embrace it, discarding those negative feelings, discarding that chill of undeath that had once led you all of your unlife, finding a familiar warmth that you hadn't known in a century. And almost like a flick to the forehead, you suddenly just gasp and realize that fresh air fills your lungs. You can feel it, taste the air. You've never really felt that before, and the light breeze kind of ruffling your fur, and well, in your your form now, ruffling your, caressing on your skin, and being able to watch that sunrise with no fear, no sense of needing to hide from it. The natural sense that undeath had led you to. And your heart beats once more. Yeah.
That's amazing.
For all
Wow.
intents and purposes, your powers still remain the same. We can flavor them a little bit more, but
He's
yeah.
overjoyed
Clan, kitty
and overjoyed and tears are just streaming down, and the last thought is, this city still stinks.
Beautiful, beautiful, man.
That Andros can agree.
Some things never change. All right. Anybody else? Absinthoss, what are you doing in this party? After seeing your house rise, having probably everything you had thought would happen with your house probably get flipped on its head. What's the now essentially crown prince of Galeran doing?
Skulking in the shadows, just looking. Everyone else is so happy. Absinthoss knows there's more work to be done.
Let me guess. He finds the remnants of his childhood bedroom in the western wing, a smoking crater of what it used to be.
Oh, so that's where the explosion hit.
I kid.
He'll watch everyone else join the festivities. He's just thinking about the work that needs to get done afterwards. Rebuilding a city. Working on his pet project in the library. It's time for celebration now. And he'll be back to work soon again.
Standing up at the top of the stairs there,
Yeah.
Andros will approach, kind of pat a few people on the back, excuse himself, and slowly walk up the stairs, his eyes trained on Absinthios. A soft smile, coy smile on his face. Holds out a hand.
Takes a look at the hand. Is this an invitation to dance?
I don't think you could keep up with me, lad. But no. I'm proud of you.
My eyes
I
going a
mean-
little bit wider.
I don't mean that condescending, but you didn't have to come back here. And from the look on your face, it doesn't look like you're gonna be staying close to home, as it were. If I read that right.
Mostly right.
Said he's gonna need somebody to be looking out for the little people.
It's a lot of work we need to do to rebuild. Rebuild it the right way.
This ain't a battle you can run from. You know that.
I don't intend to. Shakes
Well,
out
that then.
his hand and shakes Andros's hand.
Claps it firmly, a wrist grab type grab. Know that if you ever need a little, if you ever need a rainy day, I'm just a shipyard away.
Your mouth's writing checks. Hope you can cash them.
Come now, Ascot. When haven't I cashed my debts? Just steps back and holds his hands out. Came here. Shit talked your mum. And I'm walking away scot-free. A hero, even. Amazingly. I'm done running. I hope you are too.
That I am. That I am.
Though if you ever do think about it, I will be right there to kick your ass.
Well, that's just you I know, isn't it?
Again, holds his hands out wide. We are who we are. I'm an asshole, but I'd rather be a good one.
Absalom will reciprocate the handhold. Yeah, because all the bad ones turn to shit.
They really do. Fuck. I've got more people to see. Well, greetings to and all. I think we're all due for a little good night's rest. Don't be all work, no play, eh?
Try my best.
Ever need a vacation? I know there's a few deserted islands that... Who knows? Maybe needs a little manner of their own on it. With that, he releases the handhold, pats him on the shoulder, and gives him a little wink and a salute, heads back down the stairs.
Alright. What about everyone else? Evian, Zidane.
I would have wanted to ask if Shinari could have started following after Mirani, after relaying the fact that Mirani was leaving. Because I'm not sure if Reyna, if you were slipping out quietly or just I'm on a walk.
It was mostly just I'm gonna take a walk, but I think that if she had noticed that she was being followed,
It's
I
difficult
think
to miss a horse-sized direwolf.
Yeah, I think that honestly, I think that she would have like found just an alleyway somewhere and ducked into it and turned into something small and sneaky like a mouse or whatever, and just kept on going so she could continue her walk in peace.
Yeah, if you're actively trying to not be found, I would say it'd be fairly difficult for Shinari to catch up and like fully track you. She's
Yeah.
not really a hunting wolf dog.
No, she is not.
She found Barnacle.
Yeah.
That's true, she did.
Found the sentient puddle. They can cast spells.
And bone down.
Do you do anything else then, Zidane, or are you just...
Well, I was
Or do you
gonna
go out
start
trying to-
wading into the crowd of people, and then he's gonna sit down somewhere and open the book
Okay.
and start from the end to see what the last record was. And then Shinari, after finding Mirani, has gone poof. Is like, well, I lost track of her. I guess she doesn't want to be followed. And Zidane, all right, just guess come back then. And flipping through, what's the last chapters talk about?
So the last chapters talk about the Battle of Faust again. So we're laying kind of a different point of view, written from who you could only assume probably to be Morden based on the other books you've read. But talking about how this time they would fix their mistakes. This time was going to be different. And how heroically they stood alongside those they had chosen. And how, like any good story, the end was never really the end. Where one tale ended, another one would begin.
Next, he would try and it's been bugging him ever since the idea came forward. He's gonna try and see if Faye Lauren comes up in the book to see if he had ever taken a lover. skim. And if there's some sort of roll to see if I even get to it within the next couple of minutes, then
Roll me a. Yeah, if you're looking for it quickly and not just sitting down and reading the entire book, go ahead and just roll me a quick. Perception, I guess? Investigation? Investigation.
okay. Both are the same, but hey, 14.
Okay. You flip through quickly, trying to see if you see any mentions of Galeran and the lover. There's snippets of it where the writer seems to mention that Lorn would disappear after their adventures. Perhaps to meet with that one lady friend of his. But more details seem to be found within those pages.
Sigh of relief, he begins to sink into his chair and realize that, oh man, he probably should not have relaxed. There are things that hurt that he didn't recognize actually still existed since the last major fight. And then looks over to see a somewhat familiar face. Actually, no, are you're in guard face, right? Trans? Or is this actual disguise from before? Uh-oh.
Did we lose Trans? We may have lost Trans.
Trans, come back.
I swear to God, I was listening. I had to get up and get something. Yeah, it's
Oh.
you recognize this guard, yes. But if I could take such a liberty, you recognize the guard, but the guard looks more human somehow.
The temptation to use it, anyways. Yeah. Oh. Hello.
Hi, Zidane.
Oh, it is you.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I feel very different, but is that the book?
Indeed. It's it ends where Faust also ends. I do want to make a copy of it.
I may know
Or
someone who could help with that. I'd certainly like to give, well, I don't know what you know of the people that I worked with, but they would certainly like to have a written history such as the one you hold.
I think if Morden is still around, perhaps he would as well. I hope he is.
We'd have to go see him.
I'm a bit, even though I just got here again, I think Galeran might be a little bit tiring with how everything is played out.
No, we need you here.
rebuilding, teaching. I think those more reals. Purview, I'm just somewhat decent with using a weapon he passed off to me.
Well,
Sometimes it feels like.
at the very least, then, you should make your appearances and perhaps pick another to fill that role.
I did have a passing fancy to try and, I don't know, start some sort of order with my free time. Not just be an army of one.
Well,
He looks off to the side, and then there's a slight smirk. I don't suppose you'd know anyone else that might be perhaps wanting to be invested in knowing a group of, I think, oh, how did Andros put it one time? Pious warrior priests?
I am genuinely not sure what you're asking.
Oh.
Sorry.
Was that in character or out of character?
Out of character.
I believe I
Networking.
called it a pompous dick shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use that. uh, never mind. It was a very stupid conversation. I don't think that we could have done it without that little trick of yours.
We have an intruder.
Peanut Gallery.
Hello, sister.
She's just gonna join in and listen. It's
Oh, it's fine.
okay. Taking that risk and going in to, I imagine, paralyzed him somehow. But if he was able to even utter one spell, things might have gone much differently.
I can't help but feel like there's a balance. You might be more familiar with this kind of concept than I am, but sometimes I feel like I've been pushing everything that I do very, very far in one direction, and that at some point it will snap. And I will be no more. And, I think doing what we did in there, I thought that would be the end for me. But, world is not without a sense of irony.
Do you think you'll return to your former line of work? Or perhaps... He looks down at the book and pats it. Well, perhaps you don't need to answer that question. There's plenty of interesting things that might or might not be recorded here. And also other parts of the world that might need a little bit of investigation of its own. People in need of help.
True. I don't think I can survive now without doing some form of useful work. I truly think I'm cured, as it were.
Here,
I think I actually might Need something to eat soon. Is something I haven't said in a very long time.
Heard from the... Do you mind if I check?
No. This might be the most appropriate use of that thing you do I've ever heard of.
Quiet you. So he touches the twin keys, glows that somewhat familiar purple and green. And what do I sense from the person that I used to know as undead?
Traces still linger as it fades away slowly, but the overwhelming sense of it from his core being is gone.
So then smirks, smiles. It's a wide grin. Slow process for the Yanti. Looks like there's just a few little remnants, but yeah. You're definitely no longer having that other issue. I suppose there might be some food from the banquet that might not have been disrupted.
Oh, I have a plan. Don't worry. I don't think I'll find my first meal in a century here, but I appreciate the thought.
Right. Think I might try and talk with someone about... I don't know. How does one rebuild the city?
Huh. I will... She gets up. I will leave you to that thought. I have
Although
not a clue.
He does stand up, and there's like a gentle, like, hand on the shoulder or something. Like,
Sure.
Either way, if ever that you want to try traveling and solving some of those mysteries, I would not hesitate to welcome you into my company. Or at my table. It's a very handy little sanctuary, that door that comes out of nowhere.
You know, when I first met you, I thought that you were a fool to act as you do. But I can see now it's an asset. Never lose that friendship with all that you meet. He walks away.
The Dan sighs and thinks to himself, am I trying to get a run for the title of Fool King? He shakes his head and walks into the larger area, looks and... He's actually going to, start... Yeah, he's actually going to go over to Evian. And of course, he has pocketed the book once more. And his thumb is on one of the pages about Faye Lauren's... What would be the word? Not Tris. Escapades. So what's Evian been doing?
Evan has been been moving around the castle, actually, helping the guards burning the corpses and helping the wounded out. So technically, she's not where she is right now. But I say after she comes back around her rounds, she's most likely gonna, yeah, she'll come back through this door and then bumps into you. Like, oh, Sedan. Didn't have Sedan.
Seems like you didn't stop.
I just need to move.
Well, here. Look at, I found this in the book. And he turns it around and points at one of the passages talking about Phaelorn stealing away from the group every so often. The references to then another page that references there's a woman.
Evan would just briefly look down at that and look back up at him. Whatever occurred in the past, it's in the past. I'm just right now looking to what I want in the future. But thank you for showing me this. But I have no use for it now. But I think I shall retire from the cheers and drinking from here and just here in general.
I see you at the Company of Heroes.
Maybe. I just need a breather to clear my thoughts and see what goes from here. But most likely I might find myself there, but who knows?
Well,
And nevertheless, even though we haven't spoken that much, Sedan, and I hate to say it, I do envy you, your courage, your faithfulness. You're a strong warrior. I'm glad I fought next to you. And I hope so, or continue to do so in the future.
I've always been very thankful for your arrows. Thankfully not sticking into me. And always finding their mark on all of our foes.
Well, I don't see you as a foe. I do see you as a friend. A good friend. And if there's any other trouble, or, well, any hell that comes our way, I'll make sure that my arrows meet that. Our new enemies.
His gaze goes over to an emblem of House Levia, stares at it, looks back at her. Well, hopefully it's not back here anytime soon. I think that even in a weakened state, the mistress of the house could probably kill us like small dogs.
As I hate to say it, I had so much wanted to put an arrow in her face right then and there, but I just knew I was gonna get dead before it even firing my arrow. But hopefully, within the downtime that we have, we'll both go stronger if we face her again, and hopefully then we can take her down. But for now, it's good that we just stand back and observe for now. Thanks. Have a good night, Zidane. And with that, Evian will march her way to the front and exit the Levia house.
Zidane looks over to Randros and Absinthos. If they make eye contact, he's just going to wave back. Because Andros seems to be in the thick of something, and Absinthos is brooding. He had already said what he wanted to say to Absinthos back in the sanctum. So he is going to...
If you catch Andros's eye and you make an indication that he wants to talk,
Yeah.
Oh, he
Andros could
does?
step away. But it's all up to, if it's more just a passing glance and then you walk off, but if Zidane wants to makes an impression that he does want to talk, Andros can step away.
Actually, yeah. He's gonna look over, not stealthily, but I'm guessing these are just kind of like waist-high fixtures
Yes, like
and
little
benches. Yeah. So yeah, Zidane will sit over here and wave over to Andros and just patiently wait.
Speaks to a couple more people, and then he kind of excuses himself, walks over to the other side of the benches, puts a foot up on one of them, just
Oh no.
looking through the ficas. You can come join us,
Strikes a
We
pose.
don't bite. Yeah, arms crossed. The smirk. Total smirk, but...
I wanted to see if... Good grief, I'm tired. If Riel's old place was still standing, and also another little spot. I have some interest in, but
Are you inviting me for a night in, Zidane?
I suppose if you wanted an excuse to get away from your adoring
Just
masses, then
That's not a
beaming
no.
smile.
That's not a no.
Well, you do make quite the convincing offer, sir.
What a pairing.
you have a boat and I am a house without a. Let me finish the thought before I start
See,
laughing.
he
damn
paused-
it.
pouts
Metaphor
slightly.
is strong.
He pouts slightly. Excuse me,
No.
it's cold as shit.
Let me
Yes, we
finish
ship
the
it.
sentence. God damn it.
Oh god, I can't
Uh,
with this.
Seabreeze is definitely laughing in the corner.
You have a boat, and then he just reiterates with a smile. This- and I have a house that perhaps might be able to get into some sort of business opportunity. I was wondering if a enterprising captain would be interested in trying to, what is the word? Workshop something?
Dan, are you propositioning me for a smuggling opportunity?
Zan opens his mouth, closes.
Andros leans forward on, an elbow on his raised knee, his fist against his cheek. That is brilliant.
I was thinking about the more legitimate aspect of smuggling, but trading is trading, I suppose.
Anyway, listen, Sedan. Pretenses aside, when you need me, just let me know. My ship is always open to you. You just need to ask.
Are any of the dwarves listening in?
Yep.
Suddenly,
looked
this
aside.
like
They're
eyes
all
pop
kind of
on
just like
their eyes and heads pop through the ficuses, and they're just like shit-eating grins.
Fucking somebody's doing a lewd drawing on a piece of parchment. And...
Wait, what?
Mango, no.
Oh no! Oh no! 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 Anyway. Sedan smiles. Hopefully we can take advantage of the peace before anything else crazy happens.
Take it you're planning on staying then. Use that little title you've got.
Might as well put it to use.
That might not mean much in a little bit, based on what Mommy Dearest said.
Well, even if she's able to force out those of molestation from Galeran, there's nothing that says that another town, another city might not start laying down its foundations. Not that House Yazkash has any ring to it, probably on this side of the world. But, well, maybe I should just take up Riel's moniker. Be something that at least these people can recognize.
Don't forget, Sedan. Don't lose yourself thinking about the people who led you to be what you think you are. Be the good man that you're always claiming to be. Nothing more, nothing less. Don't be stupid.
Funny, I heard a similar vein of advice from someone else just now.
Maybe you should listen to it. Twice a charm.
Oh, you know, fools need to be constantly reminded to not do certain things.
Or don't remind me.
And his gaze starts drifting up towards Absinthos, subconsciously.
And Andros will just, again, lean back, smile, and give him a nod. You know where to find me. I may not necessarily be close all the time, but...
Mm-hmm. You need a registration for your ship, the Widow's Kiss, right? Was that the reason why that your crew needed to be...
You know, I think she might need a new moniker. Yeah, new lease on life, as it were.
Even after Alton made that song for us?
Fuck him.
Yeah.
He left.
I was waiting.
Just, again, grins.
Um,
Always be the widow's kiss, but... I think we all need a little bit of a break. Things to take care of.
What do you think?
Hmm.
New horizons to chase down. New problems to dig up.
And he knocks on the muffled side of the cover, the book. Just some light reading for later. Definitely going to be lots of things changed. But I think I'm going to walk around for a little bit before getting back.
Fair enough.
What about
Don't
just getting a second boat and keeping the widow's kiss? He smiles and just starts waving it off.
No. Admiral Anderos? I don't think that has quite the ring to it.
Sorcerer Admiral?
Now that... we could workshop it. But no, Enterprise ain't really in my purview, my desire. Perhaps someone else could manage it. Me? Give me my ship. Give me a sea to sail on. And a horizon to chase after.
We'll definitely see.
No. Just step right through the ficas to stand next to Zan. Hops down and holds out an arm for a handshake.
Yeah. I imagine that the wrist/forearm handshake is the lay of the land, but yeah, definitely going for reciprocating the handshake.
Smiles and reaches the other arm out. Pats him on the cheek. Just keep being you, Zidane. No one else.
You know, there's a time that, actually not too long ago, you would have been saying the opposite.
Heated words. You needed to hear them. I ain't apologizing. Just don't be a dick shit, right?
That's the objective. And he's gonna pat Andros also on the cheek. And Andros starts glowing. And he does an about face and then goes towards Shinari.
Does he get a
Looks
saving
down.
throw?
I
He'll
mean,
look
if you want
down,
to save against healing, but
the glittering crystal flecks in his skin are just dazzling white. He's like,
Ow.
Me one sec.
just
What's
shrugs and
Thamor
goes
doing?
back to
You're just out here.
Literally a
You're just
glow
out here
up.
paying the dog. Like trying to figure out. Do I pet you here? Here?
Shredder,
So-
are you available? Oh, sorry, Raina. Go ahead.
No, it's nothing important. I just Mango, sorry to out you, but she just DM'd me, and I quote, "I need to make poor yaoi fan art of my brother and the vaguely European man."
Save it. Save it for the credits. Save it for the credits.
save the.
I'll scroll it in the recording if we really want. Just keep
No, I
working.
figured this would get scrubs.
Oh, wait, here we go. There we are. So, if you had any wounds, You get 3 times 10.
35.
Yes, 35 total at the end of a minute.
I think that puts me back up to full. It does.
But yes, I am back. Trans.
Seabreeze, you recognize the guard that is Seabreeze. Approaches up the stairs and says, I don't know if others have started, but let me, if not, be the first to congratulate Your Highness on the inheritance of Galeran. He bows.
This will take some getting used to.
You less than most, I think. But you know, what I said, well,
I remember what you said.
yes, it's probably best that we don't discuss it openly. But I will add, if I may, that your experiences are... Think of your experiences with your mother, and then think about how the people of Galeran will be treated, and how similar those two will be. And I wish to indebt myself to you, should you ever need my help, for a small favor.
I about raised.
I would very much like to raid your armory for a greater healing potion if you know where I might find such a thing.
Hassan looks to the left, looks to the right, thinks about, is anyone really going to be in the armory at this time?
This is a simple request, made of one who will become, I'm sure, my liege should I stay in Galeran.
He jostles around for the keychain. Ching, ching, ching. Unfurls one of the keys. Gives the key over to Seabreeze for the armory. Just give it back to me when you're done.
It will be done. Shall I take my leave?
Yes, you may.
About faces and heads down the stairs to talk to Sparkly Tiefling. Well, you made out well.
Oh, Seabreeze? Is that you?
None other. I feel a new woman, as it were, and chuckles at saying that while being a male guard.
Oh, you certainly looked one. It's quite the surprise.
Yes, we are all indebted to you for your quick thinking there. I didn't quite expect that battle to go that well. Well done.
Well, I like to think on my feet and see where they leave things where they lie. But it was your initial actions that started the whole thing.
Well, the shadows have
doubts
helped
about
me
you.
a great deal in the past, yes, but I didn't deal the blow as I normally do. I have someone else to thank for that, but that will happen soon.
Well, it's all being part of a crew, yeah? They're not, from what I understand, something you're used to.
No. Yeah, I imagine you'll take up the helm again, or are you gonna hang around for a bit?
Likely, yeah. Let's just say this has been an eye-opening experience, being heroes of the realm, constantly throwing ourselves into danger. Got me thinking about some business that needs taken care of, and, well, future that needs figuring out. For me, the sea is familiar as any, so yeah, I plan to take up the helm, see where the waves take me for a bit. Yourself?
I'm not sure. There are people I need to talk to, and I told Zidane I did not expect to live through what just happened. I feel very blessed, which is something I don't think I've ever said. I'll be around. I will probably have need of a ship before too long, and, well, if you're not leaving within the next, week or so, might find you.
Fair enough. Always keep a cabin open for you. Which is weird to say.
Yeah, that's... I don't know that I've ever been on your boat before, but I know... Well, I can only imagine that Alton valued your company, and I do hope you see him again. Don't know where he is.
I expect he's working a different sort of scene. One with less death and murder and yelling at each other.
It is an acquired taste.
I take to it pretty easily, but I understand why he might not.
Well, I need to get out of all of the middle of these people, if you don't mind. I shall see you again soon, I'm sure.
Sure. And, apologize. I was wrong about you.
Oh?
But I hope you can forgive me for a little suspicion.
Ah. There's nothing to forgive. You're right about me. Maybe not now, but then you were right. You and Zidane make a good team. In that way.
He chuckles. That's one way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do the yelling and he does the hitting.
Well, till we meet again.
Don't be a stranger. You know where to find me.
Let's off for the armory.
There's no one really there. But, I mean, in the armory, I guess, itself, but there are plenty of people roaming about that courtyard still, you know, again, cleaning up corpses and trying to make some order of things.
Are there any healing potions at all left?
None that you can... Well... Yeah, roll me investigation.
Yeah, I get to
Roll me
roll.
invest.
The secret stash.
Okay, that's not bad at all. investigation. Oh no, roll 20. What are you doing? Well, it's a 14 plus something. And if it's intelligence, I'm betting it's a lot.
Investigation is intelligence. So
It's on my other sheet. Investigation, that is a 21.
Jeez. All right. Yep. At first glance, you don't really find anything. It seems as though they've been picked clean, trying to help the survivors and all that. But upon further scrounging around and moving things a bit, you find one that was hidden under a cloth that perhaps the guard was setting aside for personal use.
Excellent. Yoink. I will walk back, not the way I came. Okay. We will find Thamor out in the front. How does Thamor
I think
look?
at this point, by this point, I think Thamor has tackled Shinari down to the ground, and it's just like
He just
rolling
sort of has his hand right in front of her eyes on it's now like is like petting from his now.
Thamor looks still kind of rough, right?
Chunks of his non-shadow armor are missing, and his brand new cape is tattered.
Well, Breeze will approach and Thamor.
Hmm?
I wanted to thank you. You, I think, are the reason that we're all alive.
Thamor, yeah, Thamor nods. yeah, that's right. Right.
I'm a god, yes. This is I found this for you. Hands him the healing potion. But I was wondering if I could ask you a favor, which is terrible after what you've just done for us, but there it is, just the same.
Thamor takes the potion and he holds onto it and he says, "And the favor."
I haven't had anything to eat in quite some time, and I was wondering if you could help me. I hear you're a good fisherman.
Hey,
Zidane is trying to revive Shinari after the tickling. He looks over and the fishing and oh no.
Is that true?
It is true. I can catch you anything from the sea.
Oh, I
hope.
can't believe my luck. Would you care to accompany me?
If the ice is gone, I will gladly fish.
Yeah. If you wouldn't mind.
And that's what we'll be doing. We'll be going fishing.
Okay. Yeah. The ice is still present, but it's cracked and starting to float away. The magic that had kept its permanence is gone.
And yeah, we'll probably start fishing then. If this open spot we can see through.
Breeze very much enjoys fresh fish. And will drop her. Guys.
Oh,
Oh, oh.
And
very
kiss.
good. Hey, Sedan, how much HP do you have?
33. Why?
Ah, perfect.
When the fighter that just murderated a lich says, "Oh, good," what's happening?
Nothing. Okay, fishing time. Yeah, we wander off to fish.
I feel like we should all be very concerned. All right. Anybody else? I know it's kind of I didn't expect this to turn into quite as much, but I like it. I like the character RP in this.
What's Marani doing?
I wrote myself out of this session pretty early on, didn't I?
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Just.
But
I mean, if you have things you're doing like you want to do on the road out, like I said, I didn't know if this would turn into like a session or two with wrap up, but it sounds like we're kind of gonna wrap up very quickly into that like time
Denouement.
leap or off session kind of thing coming from this because I didn't expect everyone I guess to really part ways here.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Marani would have ended up back at the guild hall eventually, but I didn't have anything in particular in mind for when I wandered off. She's just wandering around right now.
I would want to hop on Shen and go check out Riel's former location of his manor, and then his garden. In
Okay.
that order.
I mean, the mansion's supposed to be standing, though some debris and stuff like littered about from the kind of the onslaught on the city, but it still seems to be standing. The garden, however, a lot of the plants look pretty withered and withered and dead. The effects of the undead mist upon the city did not fare them well.
I am Damn it. No, I'm not going to do that here. How big is Galeran? Like, from coast to outer wall? Westward wall?
Don't remember. We had a scale at one point. I don't remember what it was. Didn't we have
It's
we have a
1
joke
mile
about that
by
in
1 mile?
I
No,
feel like we had that question before, and I made a joke about like how big Belgium or something was. I don't remember off the top of my head.
That's fine. I can still do what I wanted to do, but he's gonna look down at the garden. There's a little bit of sadness that it's been defiled by the undead or the undead magics, but he resolves to come back. And Riel's mansion is actually a manse inside. It wasn't just the sanctuary like fitted over a door frame, Howl's Moving Castle style.
It is, and it pretty much is like opening. It's an empty shell. The man's like opening the door now without the sanctuary enabled is just a like barren, empty like shell of a house. You basically just used it to keep up appearances.
Clever old bastard. And finding that out, make his way. He's gonna, he has a mount. He's just gonna run back over to the pier and try tracking down Seabreeze and Thamor, and with booze. He'll pick up booze on the way. some of the good stuff if you can. But it's, I mean, I understand it's a war-torn city, but whatever.
Bit too early in the morning for booze for Seabreeze, but Thamor may not have any compunctions.
So to say, I don't
Yep,
think you're going
Thamor
to
has
find a
no problems.
whole lot, considering that most of the shops really haven't opened, and they're still kind of recovering from the fact they just got siege.
Yeah.
So I would say you'd be hard pressed to find like
Okay,
a
in
booze
that
shop.
case, I'm just gonna go find them and spend time with them, and it'll either they leave to go the company heroes as well, or just taper off and say, "I'm tired. I'm gonna go back."
All right. So, huh? And if nobody has anything else immediate,
Yeah, I mean, Andros will have, eventually finished with the crew and give the order to Karjit and the rest of the dwarves that basically they've got a couple days off, do what they need to do, have fun. Don't show up back too drunk, but he's expecting to be preparing to leave port within the week. But at the moment it's not a rush. It's mostly just him planning for the next things he wants to investigate. But he'd probably come back and just spend some time at the guild collecting up his things in his room, putzing, moving about the city, checking in with Austinwald, that kind of stuff. Nothing major.
okay,
Putzing.
just putzing about. I mean, I guess it still falls into the same deal here. I mean, I thought there might be another session before we got to a point where we could kind of just interlude, but it feels like this is kind of almost where it's going to start happening.
I did want to say I don't want to sleep tonight. I want to focus on doing this for 8 hours. From
I
the
mean, you'll suffer
middle
from
of
exhaustion, but it doesn't matter too much.
I want to do the 8-hour version so that all plants and the soil becomes enriched for a year.
Okay.
What does that do to Zidane, though?
I turn into Kaiju to the Dan or something. I don't know.
Maybe it cures him. Maybe he can like transfer the plant Bruce out of himself and make the city better.
I'm pointedly thinking the company heroes is more towards the poor quarter, if I remember correctly.
He becomes enriched. Your chance at twins is grown.
Casting poison spray had advantage. Kill me.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I mean, Because as everything kind of dies down, as you all kind of, go your separate ways for a short while, at least even for, in the aftermath of what happened, kind of finally breathing a breath of fresh air, as it were, after the events that just been kind of almost nonstop chaos since you returned. Um, the world moves forward and starts rebuilding. Like, Mother Levia finally emerges and starts corralling the people and kind of gathering the nobles and commoners alike, all that attended the ball and survived, and starts kind of rallying them once again to kind of start rebuilding. But I mean, that's for another time there. For those that reconvene back at the Adventurers Guild, yes, you notice that not all of you come back, since it seems that a few have taken their own course. I don't know if everyone comes back for a night, or if this is where people do split.
I know I've got one or two things that I'm going to save for text threads.
Yeah.
Because they, but yes.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
some
wondering,
text
too,
thread
is,
stuff.
as much as I don't want to, end a session, it's not super early, it's almost midnight, but, not a ton of stuff game-wise happened, apart from a lot of RP, which was great, a lot of closing stuff. I thought there'd be, 2 sessions, but it kind of feels like it almost naturally falls into, we start going into text sessions, or falling into that rebuilding period, that hiatus of sorts of, what happens in the world now that things have kind of settled into a peace, right? Because in that short interim, even, the armies of the White Order, they'll stick around for a little bit to ensure that no traces of undead linger, but Hadrian is actually pretty quick to want to head back and start sailing back towards the kingdom of the White Leaf.
Before he leaves, obviously, Enderos would meet up with him. Probably he'd have him come to the guild hall, just because he knows that is a place that has scrying protection.
Mhm.
And he would, he would say it was an anonymous tip, but he would definitely make it known to Hadrian that the new queen definitely has sinister dealings, and that likely should be shared with the White Order so that they are aware and prepared.
He'll nod grimly, but he confides in you as well that while he would love to take action, they're not exactly a worldwide peacekeeping group either.
He
But
knows
they
that.
will.
He'd shake his head and just be like, just be ready. Just on the chance that her ambition does not settle only for Galeran. Just planting that seed of knowing what's going on.
Okay. He takes it, and perhaps maybe for the first time, really considering everything, he just gives you a fond farewell. Truly a fond farewell of, he was glad to have come back and glad to have, he's still very, very confounded, very befuddled by how you, of all people, garnered and brought promises through Paylor that he could not himself. But
He gives a coy smile and doesn't explain anything, but just gives a coy smile. he'll pull the sending stone out of his satchel, kind of toss it up and down, and just give him a wink and say, I'm gonna hold on to this.
Yeah. Gives a hearty laugh, and hopefully we won't need that again too soon, brother.
Who knows? You never know when we're in need of another miracle.
If you ever decide to come home, I'll put in a good word with the order for you.
Won't be necessary, but thank you anyway.
He gives you a curt nod then and proceeds to continue with preparations to embark with the rest of his army, as it were.
Cool.
But so yeah, I guess ideas of how you guys want to handle this and how long of a kind of in-game downtime, as well as I guess that official. I guess you don't have to have an answer now if you don't have one, but if you do, I guess let me know. I guess the official verdict on what happens to those characters and who will be coming back.
They will be coming back. That's my answer.
Okay.
I don't plan on retiring Andros, but I do. He has things he needs to chase down.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You do have that. However long we decide to intern it, you do have time to chase things down or kind of fit loose ends or answer some questions that you had lingering, and we'll figure out how we're gonna do that here.
Yeah.
But I know at least one character is not coming back, so I don't know if there's any others that are being retired, or at least for now.
I know that a while ago Treg floated the idea of a longer time skip, like a year or more, and I am honestly all for that.
Okay.
Just to kind of get a better feel of to allow the world that we helped create to settle and kind of live in it for a while.
That's fine with me. I just want to get that consensus of everyone, because
Then maybe each session is like a couple weeks, a couple months, or just have that.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Again, even if it ends up being it may be where, again, if Andros is off doing something, maybe one of the sessions is, I don't know, Seabreeze and Thamor and Zidane. Maybe they're investigating something in Absinthoth or investigating something around Galeran. Or, I'm totally okay with, maybe a session,
Breakout
two
sessions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
almost
just
like
a
these
couple
smaller sessions
We need the pet mini session also.
We do need the pet mini session.
So it's not just and suddenly a year has passed. I think it'd be neat to have little snapshots, little session snapshots of, hey, this was a couple months in, they chased down this lead, and I don't know if that's a way that also allows you as the GM to kind of put some breadcrumbs down, in those hey, we're looking into these things. This person found this. Maybe this person looked into this. I don't know if that's an easier way to do breadcrumbs as opposed to we're a year later.
The only thing I don't
you guys
want
found this.
Yeah. The only thing I want to necessarily avoid, I guess, in a sense, is I don't want to have. Unless people want to do this way, have sessions that are it's only 2 characters involved in this session. That's it. Because that could be what happens, right? If it is something Andros and Absinthoth chase down a lead, well, what is everyone else doing? They're not going to be involved in that at all. So do I have everyone there just sit around listening, or do we not have people scheduled for that? Do we schedule a bunch of mini sessions? Do we have tech sessions, or do I just do we turn it into an actual session, or do we turn it into kind of a?
Well, so I had thought that this chapter arc, as it were, and the completion with Faust's demise was amazing, and I'd love to have something like that happen again, where I don't want to say there's another big baddie that we have to go kill necessarily, but it would really help me understand what I want to answer you with if we knew if there was like thing like that where. So I'll give you an example. Like if it was unclear that Mother Levia and Absinthos really were going to be just rulers or at least passable, right?
Yeah, and that's why.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, sorry, not to interrupt, but that was my plan for how
Cool.
I was going to structure things, was to give you, because I want the world to continue, but there has to be some time for things to build, right? Like you did just overcome something that was basically world changing.
Yeah.
And whether we want to do like mini sessions like Trek said, to do like breadcrumbs for it, or if you want me to, because the other idea that I had was, I don't know, over the next week or two, I just kind of write out literally kind of a lore dump of just a month has passed, here's the highlights of that month, and or like what kind of change in that month, and whether you want to like give your input or what your characters did in that time frame, or
Yeah.
with that knowledge, and we just text base it.
Yeah.
But to give you breadcrumbs of like, and you kind of then whenever that year is passed, roughly like whatever input your characters give me, what you want to do, and what breadcrumbs I give you, you can kind of choose the path you start with, like whatever seems most interesting or enticing for what your characters follow. Like I said, either does Mother Levia rule justly, or do you guys have concerns about it, or concerns the way she's doing it? Does the White Order take a stand in something? Do you go to Jerag to find out what's going on there? Huh?
Sormir.
Yep,
Yeah,
Sormir.
Sormir. There's stuff in Telmavir that
Yep,
we were going to investigate. I mean,
they're still the
The
rebuilding of
Crescent
Dunmoric.
Moon. Yeah.
Yep, they're
While
still the
you're doing
rebuilding of
that,
Dunmoric.
I'm
because
gonna
I
head
know-
out. I will see you guys later.
Bye,
Oh.
Shred.
Okay.
See ya.
Night Tread.
Yeah. So there's plenty of stuff going on. It's just a matter of how we want to convey that. Convey all what's happening. If we want to do mini sessions, where I talk you through things, we have little, basically the equivalent of one shots in these downtime. Or if we want to just text RP to an extent of, I just tell you as time passes, these things start happening, and what your characters want to do during those periods.
I think that
Or you tell me what you want your
Pathfinder
characters to do.
Pathfinder actually has a framework for a passage of time. I think it's in the Kingmaker book, if that is a book. I don't know. This may be something to look at. But all I know is Zidane would definitely want to encourage everyone to stick around as long enough to read the book to see, and if everyone scatters to the wind, like what to keep mind of the cross-reference between the book and what might be happening in the world, post Dead Faust. And then that also I see from a narrative point that, hey, that's a breadcrumbs, like, Bible, potentially.
I like the idea of almost like, and again, it could even be we have a full session, everyone's there, and it's just tiny little, like, snippets. Be like, all right, this, 10-20 minute section is Zidane and Absinthos, and they're working in Galeran, and you make maybe you make some rolls, maybe you have something you're looking into, and maybe something you get information there, and that's like, well, a couple weeks later, now we and that camera shifts over to other people, and instead of it all the characters being involved at the same thing, I think it would be cool for everyone to kind of chase down their respective leads as they would like to. But also it ends up in session, so everyone can kind of hear what what all the characters are doing. Because again, I think it would be cool to, again, if do you think that is something that would work for you, Salty, building those breadcrumbs by saying, okay, this person went over here to investigate this thing, maybe in their backstory, sprinkle in some breadcrumbs of here's some things shaking in the world, there's some stuff changing, and that way we're all here. But it's just kind of little snippets as we jump the camera around and jump time forward in leaps and bounds.
It's a mix
I like
of
that
our
idea.
people. Okay, if people are okay with that, if people are okay with like having sessions where it may focus on other people for.
Oh yeah, I'm probably fine with little mini sessions like that.
Okay.
Shred used to do that too.
We can do something like that. The only thing then you just need to do, at least on my end, is if you have specific goals for your characters, just shoot them to me. Like, oh, I want
I'll
these are
shot some
goals.
to you, pal. I'll shoot some more 2 layers salty.
These are goals or things my character
Beans.
wants to investigate. Like,
No, not
if you have a
beans.
priority
Fixing.
list or an order of time, you can give that to me too, but then I can kind of like hash out then those mini sessions and like building the time frame. And like I said, we can do like, it sounds like a year is what kind of people want to do for the passage of time, roughly, like for the world to rebuild and for your characters to have their own episodes of sorts.
I think a year is a really a solid amount of time. Again, when a kingdom is going through a transition like this, you need
Yeah,
time to
gems,
see what
not
happens.
beans.
I'm not against it. That's why I just wanted to, again, just a matter of confirming with everyone, like, if that's how we want to play it. That's fine by me. So yeah,
Well,
if that's where we
I'm
want to
gonna
build it.
take off, but I am perfectly fine with that. That sounds fun.
All right. So yeah, I guess
Allows
that's,
people to build on their own characters.
yep.
And trans,
like
does
that.
that sound okay for you as well? I know that you want to keep with these characters, of course.
Yeah, that sounds fine. I was gonna say that everything sounds cool that you guys are describing. I would just leave it open-ended for how long the time skip actually becomes based on the roleplay. I think it's a great idea to have individuals give you their goals, and then you can decide whether you want to make those into conflicts or not, and then that probably, will tell you how long all that stuff will take.
It's not a hard deadline. It's just a year, like an idea that more so we want longer versus an immediate, like we want maybe closer to a longer.
Well,
We'd rather have a year versus a month mentality, but there's no fixed.
See you later.
See you. No,
See you,
No go.
I can definitely see. I would love a lot of content that would be very near after today. If only because I see the Faceless as being instrumental in the rebuilding and also completely and utterly infecting the new city with the network, right? So
all the mini sessions are going to happen sporadically, like throughout this time frame. So it could be like in the next day versus like Andros's goal happens in a month kind of mentality. It's just the overall time skip before we start. I don't want to call it Act 2 of the first. The next time when we're all in that same adventure and there's some kind of goal, whether you guys know it or not, that starts the new adventure. But no, like the mini sessions and the character goals, that could literally be, that's just going to happen. Like once you guys give me your goals, it could be like, okay, next session is, it happens with Seabreeze and it's like 2 days later.
Okay.
Right. And then we cover that. If there's nothing else immediate, okay, let me say this is what happens as a result of that. A month passes and we cut to Andros and Thamor fishing for a legendary artifact. I don't know. But like we can span time weirdly with that, and we jump time frames in that regard, and then we roughly wait. Yeah, and we say like and then
Like,
do that
depending on
until
what someone
roughly.
wants to do.
It would be like a
what
lot
you
of
wanna do,
one
what your
shots.
character's
That would
goals
be
are.
really cool.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's basically a collection of one-shots of what happens to your respective characters in roughly a year's time, where maybe you're with your other companions, or maybe you're off by yourself doing your side quest. Okay. And then after a year or so has passed, where the city is rebuilt, things kind of go back in motion. That's where we'll pick up with the world being a factor again.
Yeah, the passage of time that leads to the event or the enough breadcrumbs that brings us back together for, if we want to use a term from anime, the next core, the second piece of the story.
The second season.
Yeah, second season. Really, that's what it is, though. Like this was
all
season
Mir
1.
Season 2.
They're making a beach episode.
Yeah, we can have a beach episode. Andros will be on for a beach episode.
It'll be Andros, Thamor.
Sedan.
Thunderhands
So,
will be
like,
on the beach.
real question.
Thunderhands will be the one who organizes it. I mean, let's be honest.
The real question, though, is, okay, I actually am asking seriously. Do we want to try and do the pet / minion side campaign? Or side session?
If someone wants to organize it, I don't know if you want me to DM that session, or if that's just going to be a silly one-shot that we kind of hold in our pocket.
It's a romp through the Feywild.
I mean, the only thing that I can think is that, unless we want to like bend the rules as established in order to let this happen, is that Frey can't travel too far away from Mirani. So, but I
I
mean,
mean, it could be
we
a
can
joke on
ignore that for the
it could be the joke on the beach
The
episode,
pet-
right? You're all at the beach and nothing goes wrong with the main
people
characters. It's the pets that wander off into a random cave and they have a Pokemon dungeon adventure.
And it could also be something how Mirani's connection with Frey has grown to the point where he is corporally enough to move farther away from her.
I think
Could be
that
something
makes
like that,
sense too, especially considering that, Frey said that he wants to stay, which just made my heart melt.
I am home
Frey-
now.
the Frey moment, the sea breeze moment of breathing. There were some really good
Yeah.
moments in this session. I really enjoyed it.
I was wondering when the Floof Almir crossover would happen.
Honestly, I mean, we could probably do a floof thing for Almir, do a session or two. I could probably throw something together, but I mean, it wouldn't be too hard. I guess the system, as you call it, is really malleable in that it just ends up being chaos.
Well,
And the characters already exist. It's not like you have to make up a setting and characters. They're all here. It's just a
No,
matter of-
all the settings there. I would just have to tweak the rules and figure out what level of character everyone's going to be at.
I'm not,
but-
but yeah, we can do that. But like I said, I was worried about that since that's literally its own
Yeah, I know.
off
That's
canon
just-
thing. We can just
That's a one shot that I could probably
like-
throw together.
Yeah, that's just something
one
to
shot,
do.
sure.
another 3-year one shot.
Hey, look, it might be a 6-hour one shot, but I'll keep it a one shot.
No.
It'll end with you guys somehow stealing a van. I don't know where the van came from, but a van driving off into the sunset
Does anybody have insurance?
after
No.
running over the baker, who apparently was the van. Why did he kill the baker? He had a sandwich.
Nom.
So I think that's a good place to set up. So like I said, I will get some rudimentary like timelining going of what happens over the course of, I'm just gonna roughly say a year like in Galeran, but you guys send me, like I said, character goals, what things they want to discover on their own. If they do it with other characters, you can talk with each other on that. And I can start mapping out all right, well, this session will have this block of characters in this time frame, and then this block of characters in this time frame. And how many episodes that takes, we'll have to just play by ear and what characters want to do. And like I said, if we play with characters that are currently here, if we start introducing, let's say I know one person's swapping characters, there's another person I need to talk to about things, so figure out how that
Gasp.
plays out.
It'll be a surprise.
Cool. Yeah, and that means all of you guys, especially the ones who have left and they don't hear this, that homework goes on us too. We got to make sure that we supply that so that we've got the content.
I mean,
for
otherwise I'll
Salty
make
to
shit
build.
up for you guys, and your characters will somehow be doing really odd sidewalk quests because they gave me nothing better to do.
Salty,
Go
how's my
fetch
family
13
doing?
bear asses.
Yeah.
And then every bear is like a 1 in 5 chance of actually having an ass.
We're investigating the mystery of the assless bears. What has caused this? It's the cult. How? Why? What are they stealing bear asses for? Who knows?
Or just restarted his business of selling odd magical devices that he probably shouldn't, and cause an entire town to be filled with bears without their asses. You have to figure out which ones are actually bears, which ones have their asses, and which ones are people turned into bears without their asses. Good luck.
And asses
it all
without the
ends
bears.
with us finding Mort and him just being a sniveling, depressing, pathetic.
Oh, I forgot about
waste
Mort.
of space.
I gotta go find more. Oh, that's gonna be in my request for sure. Yeah,
Find Mort.
Yeah.
And we have to, I'm sure that Evian won't actively go in search of him, but I need to know what Thunderhands is doing.
Mm-hmm. Thunderhands will be in there. He's gotta. One of us is. If we're gonna be spanning the breadth of Almir, one of us has got to run into Thunderhands or hear some rumors of Thunderhands at some point. It's just a given.
I mean, he was a guard in Dunmoric originally, right?
He has been elevated. He has boned his way to out of in obscurity.
Yo!
I mean,
Lewd! Dang.
that's what happened.
You are in the presence of an accomplished artist. Be careful what you say. You might sketch it.
Everything can and will be used against you in a court of fandom.
You seem to
Court.
think that this is a problem. I am actively I am trying to inspire art. I want
Wait,
shit
no.
doodles. I want
I was gonna
stuff.
say,
No,
hold on.
this is the
Hold
worst
on.
timeline.
We need art for this campaign. I've been actively hoping to find shit to like make artwork for this campaign because it's been going for 3 years, so I can laser burn it into something.
Call somebody. I'm not just a shit. I'm a little shit.
No, sorry, I didn't say your stuff was shit. I've got some other art buddies who like to do, like quick doodles, and they call them shit doodles. So that was the term I was using.
Here for the vampire campaign, I just